to Diet Talk with Dietitian Michelle, your food expert. Today I want to talk about what rich people eat and why. But I want you to know that for me, the word rich is actually a relative term. Yes, it can mean one thing to another person and another thing to another person, depending on the angle you're looking at it from. But before I delve into today's topic, let's talk about ourselves first. Our attitude, our mindset, our ideology, especially when it has to do with our food. How do you think when it has to do with your food? I say that, I'm asking that because I have seen people who I assume that, oh, this is a rich person, and so his or her diet should be good, quality, better food, you understand? But then I get disappointed. You can see a lady who is wearing human hair wig worth 300,000 naira, expensive. She's wearing a designer bag. She's using wearing a wristwatch that is really expensive. Then when she goes to the market to buy tomatoes and they tell her a bucket is 2,000 naira, she will scream, "Ha! Why? For what now? 2,000 naira, it's expensive." Then she will leave the good tomatoes, regardless of what she's wearing or the value of what she's wearing or where she's coming from. She will now leave good, fine looking, healthy tomatoes and go for the break and sometimes even the one we call is it awarawa or there's another name we call it, tomatoes that are already bad, baje. Yes, I think that is the name. She will leave the fine tomatoes and then buy those ones. Why? Because you're trying to cut down costs. You know, there's something that I hear people say a lot, and it is that belle no be show glass. Yes, meaning that your tummy is not transparent. So whatever you throw inside, nobody will see. But of your hair, your bags, your shoes, people will see. So how do you think when it has to do with your food? Not just women, even men. You will see a young man with iPhone, serious one, very, very high grade iPhone. When it's time to eat, they will go and look for 200 naira plate of food. Or you want to take a drink and you see natural fruit juice, maybe pineapple or watermelon, and you ask how much, they say 1,000. It's too much, 1,000 naira. It's expensive. How much is the soft drink? Is 150 or 200 naira. Give me that one. And that is what you will drink, especially if you drink it every single day. I am not against giving yourself treats. I do that. Look, yes, I do that. I treat myself. Sometimes I take soft drinks, I take ice cream. I enjoy myself. That is why we have taste bud. But to do that on regular basis, to do that every single day because it's cheaper than the natural foods and natural drinks, is something you will not catch Dietitian Michelle doing. Yes, so that is why today I have come to talk about the way rich people were eating, especially back then, and to tell you the grain that they eat and why they eat that particular grain. If you're wondering what that grain is, then if you have been listening, I'm sure you will know that I'm going to talk about what? Acha. Acha is also called what? Fonio, also called hungry rice. But here in Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, we call this grain acha, which I have talked about a lot, to be a very healthy, nutritious, refreshing grain. And this is why the rich people back then are considered are the ones who are able to eat acha. A commoner was not able to eat acha then, and I was wondering why. So I had to go on a search and wanted to find out, why is this grain considered food for rich people? Why is it that it's something served only in the king's palaces, or you have to be a chief, you have to be a rich man for you to eat acha? I mean, why? Because now, if you ask me, it's even considered a local food. From the name acha, you will say, oh, this is a local food now, but it is not. Acha is even more, right now, acha is more expensive than rice, more expensive than oats, more expensive than many other foods that we eat. How much more back then? So this is what I discovered, that the reason acha was considered a grain or a food for only rich people is because of the many technicalities and many hard work, many stress surrounding it. Number one reason is that to farm acha, you would have to do that on a rocky soil. Now, I'm not telling you only what I have heard. For this one, I have seen it by myself. I have traveled far and wide. I have gone to different places. This my acha movement, it did not start today. I went to see where and how acha is cultivated. They showed me the rock and I was shocked. I mean, how are you going to plant here? But this is something that helps us to survive, helped our forefathers to survive, because it's something that survives despite the hardship, whether rain or no rain, healthy soil or not. Acha grain survived. It survived terrible weather, survived hard weather, so that even if our forefathers didn't see other food, they didn't see yam or beans or anything, at least acha grain survived for them to eat. It was a stressful, in fact, it's something that you can only plant on rocky soil. So because of that, not much was cultivated. So only the rich people could afford to eat acha. It made it really expensive, something for rich men, something for wealthy people, something for the influential people. The classy people were the ones eating acha those days. Now, number 2 reason why acha is expensive and equally considered food for rich people back then is that not just the planting, not just that it's planted on a rocky surface, rock. The harvesting of acha is also hard work, serious hard work. In fact, in some parts of Nigeria, like Ghana that I have visited, only women harvest acha. You have to be patient. If you're not patient, you cannot harvest acha. So you see, not many people will be able to go into that. They'll rather farm maize or corn or even go into rice. But you see, acha, you have to be a true lover and a very patient person to plant acha, to harvest acha. So it's so tedious, it's so strenuous, it's hardship to harvest acha. So that tells why not much is out there in the market. So the little that you are able to harvest and bring out, it has to be expensive to cover for the sweat, to cover for the stress. Now, another reason why acha is expensive and considered food for rich people back then is because to dehusk it is also another work. It's a full-time job. You need to see where they are doing this. It's dusty, so but before they will even finish the whole process, sometimes they come down with a lot of catarrh. They are down, their immunity is down, their whole body is itchy because of that dehusking process. It's so tedious. In fact, I don't even know how they are able to cope. It's not something that Michelle would want to try, no matter how much you're promising me, because I have seen it, I have witnessed it, and it's really hard work. It's not like rice that you can just go to bed. There are many sophisticated machines that can do the work, and in the morning when you wake up, you will see your rice. Machine has already done that. For acha, it is not so. It is really stressful. They will beat and beat, and even if there are the husking machines, they are too expensive for these farmers to even afford. So they would rather do the work by themselves when it has to do with acha. Now, number 4 reason why acha is expensive and left as rich men's food back then is that to wash acha is not a small work. Acha is as tiny as sand. Very, very tiny, very small. Then it is now mixed with a lot of sand. So you can imagine washing something that is as tiny as sand, full of sand. It's too much. I know I encourage you to eat acha, but if you will leave me to wash acha, I would rather drink garri for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Me, Michelle, wash acha. No, I know my grace. I know where it lies. It's not in washing acha. It is also another work. So not many people had that time or could afford the length of time or had the opportunity or were willing and available and able to wash it. So those people who have those washing it, the rich men who could afford those that would wash acha, prepare it and cook for them. That was the reason why acha was really expensive and also considered food for rich people back then. Then finally, why acha is now expensive in our own time, I'm going to give you this final point, is because foreigners have discovered that acha is a nutritious grain. I am just telling you, type acha on your phone or fonio. Just type what are the nutritional benefits of fonio. Just do your research, do your own homework. I know you can do it. Just type so that you will see the many articles that have come up on acha. So if you type acha, you're not even satisfied with what you find, just type fonio. What are the nutritional benefits of fonio? Then you will see what they have discovered. Now that they have seen that this grain is nutritious, this grain is healthy, do you know what happened? They have started indicating interest in our acha, in our fonio. So the little that they are able to produce, the little that our women can produce in Nigeria, we are now even packaging and exporting, so that they will eat food that is nutritious, food that is packed with nutrients, with vitamins, with minerals. We are now exporting the acha. You have you eaten acha? No, you have not. But white people, I told you that Igbo people are, they will eat goten acha. But I won't even be surprised if they have started eating it already. I won't be surprised if they have started eating goten acha. Well, let's say other delicacies of acha. When you search the internet, I even discovered that they make salads with acha. Salads, they have come up with a lot of delicacies, and you and I will see acha in the market, and then we'll walk past and go and eat refined wheat, the one that is white in color. 2-0, that is what I will call it. We will import the one that is refined, the one that looks good, the one that is cheap. Why won't it be cheap when all the nutrients have been ripped off? And when you see it on the shelf for 300 naira, 400 naira, you will see acha selling for 2,000 naira. In your mind, all food is food now. Why am I wasting my money? Then you go and buy the cheap one and eat. Mentality. I told you, the word rich is relative. It depends on how you perceive yourself, and it depends on how you perceive your food. It depends on what you think when it has to do with your food. It really doesn't matter. It's not a question of your financial ability. If you're able to set your priorities right, I tell you, you will eat well. If you are able to say, okay, this is more important, what I eat is more important, what I give to my family is more important, what they eat is more important, you will set your priorities right, and you will know that it's not a question of being expensive or not expensive. If others are eating it, you too can eat acha. So I have given you 5 reasons why acha is considered food for rich people, and the final one is the one that matters most to me, that even though we have not produced sufficient, we've not produced plenty acha, we have not produced the one that will be enough for all Nigerians, the few produced is even exported, making it even more expensive. Acha is something that you would find per 900 grams selling for 17, 18, 19, 2,000. But I tell you, it is worth every single penny that you spend. It is worth your money. Just before I came into the studio, I got a call of a client in Port Harcourt that is preparing jollof acha. Yes, jollof acha, and wanted to know the exact amount of oil to use in cooking it for himself and for his family. Port Harcourt. But we that are looking at it here, we are looking at it as a common food. You don't know what you are missing. I tell you, you really don't know what you're missing. I told you about a medical director who prepared it by himself for his family, and he said this is nice. What do you call it again? I just told him fonio. I didn't know what to say. You see, he asked me, so where is acha made from? I didn't know what to explain. I just told him it's made from fonio. Don't mind me, fonio, acha is the same name, but when you ask me what is acha made from, how else would I explain that acha is acha? That is its name. So I just answered briefly, acha is made from fonio, but fonio is actually another name for acha.